This week on Freshly Cultured, Miss Mandi spent some time with footballer Doreen Nabwire.
Doreen Nabwire is a Kenyan former footballer and currently the Women's Development Officer and Project Manager at the Football Kenya Federation.
Doreen Nabwire is a mother of three. I'm the first woman to play professional football in Kenya.
She grew up in the Korogocho slums of Nairobi, where she found herself consistently on the football pitch with her brothers.
No real ball. We had to make our own paper balls. When I used to play in Europe, it was really challenging because I couldn't get any fresh produce, like in terms of fruits, vegetables and stuff. I come from Western. Is it the chicken or fish? I have transited from playing to administration. Yeah.
Doreen is a mother of three who hopes that her boys will take after her love for the beautiful game.
I eat, I sleep, I drink football. Football is my life.
Cheers.
Thank you. Doreen Nabwire is a mother of three. I'm the first woman to play professional football in Kenya. I currently work at Football Kenya Federation as the Women Football Development Officer. My earliest memories, actually I have two. One, playing street football. No real ball. We had to make our own paper balls. I think I was about 8 years old and I was playing with boys in the streets of Mathare. And then two, the 1998 Africa Cup of Nations. We used to follow all the matches as a family, and I became fond of the Nigerian team, the Super Eagles, the squad that had the likes of Nonko Kanu, Daniela Mukachi. That group inspired me to play football, and so I hold that memory dear. How did I move from watching to playing? I come from a footballing family. My dad used to play football when he was younger, but he incurred an injury when he was in high school, and so he didn't play further beyond that. But my two older brothers were already playing football through the organization MISA, Mathare Youth Sports Association, and they somehow also inspired me to start playing because while watching football together as a family and also kicking around the streets with boys, my brothers were already exposed in teams. There was a time there was a selection to go to Norway, and one of my brothers went for the trials and he made it. And he came back and was like, Doreen, they're also girls. If you wish, you could try out. So I challenged myself. I went out, and that's how I kind of got into a team setup and started playing.
After high school, she tried her hand at a career in the tourism industry, briefly working as a tour consultant at Phoenix Safaris before realizing that she wanted to pursue football full-time. Her decision led her to the Bundesliga in Germany, where she played for Werder Bremen, becoming the first African woman to play in a European league.
It was during winter, actually, when I made a move to Germany. One, seeing snow, regardless of the weather, we still had to play, we still had to train. Two, the language barrier. One could be in a position to speak very good English, but they wouldn't. They will subject you to and force you to speak their language. And so I had to learn by all means. And that for me was not easy. And then also the food. The food was just, for me, it was bad at the beginning, but I later got used to it and sometimes I would try to look for some African stuff at African shops. It was not easy to access, but once in a while I managed to make something that would make me feel close to home. But yeah, food was also one shock that I had to deal and live with. If not football, what would I be doing? That's a tough one. I don't think I'll be doing anything else other than football. Yeah, I eat, I sleep, I drink football. Football is my life.
It's 7:30 in the morning. CBD is buzzing right here in Nairobi. Why? Everybody's trying to get into City Market, which is one of the oldest markets, in order to grab the freshest catch of the day. I'm about to get into this market to grab the fresh fish that we're going to be cooking. I know I'm about to catch the freshest catch, so let's go do that in City Market. City Market is my go-to place for fish because they have the freshest fish. Everything is pretty much of great quality, and their prices are quite fair for every single average person who's looking to elevate their meal. Years ago, you would walk in and it's like jam-packed with people, jam-packed with too many stalls, and now it's like much more airy. Now, the major reason why I like the fish here is because, like I said, it's fresh and it's rich in protein, very great for antioxidants, and to top it off, like I keep saying, it's scaled, it's gutted for me. Sasa, kelo mambo. Sasa, hizi fish zangu tatu, nataka unitole guts, Uniskelie na pia hizi fins unaweza kutoa. Itachukua how long hivi?
3 to 5 minutes.
Sawa, na kungoja nifanyie magic happen. Now, Akelo amesema it will take 3 to 5 minutes in order to make the magic happen, and that's all the time you need for the scales and the guts to be removed. And then you can just simply take the fresh fish home in order to cook it. Uko tayari? Asante sana. I'm very particular with how I get my fish gutted, scaled, and everything. So I had to split the roles of what I can do and what Doreen can do. I feel like I can handle the protein, and I had to ask Doreen to really handle the fact that she needed to get the fresh vegetables of what would accompany this meal.
Tomatoes, onions. Exotic Food Shop is my local store. This is where I come to shop for groceries, and it's very close to home. It's a walking distance, and at least when I come here, I'm not under pressure that I'll be leaving the baby for long. So it's a quick stop, buy what I need, and then I get back home. When I used to play in Europe, it was really, really challenging because I couldn't get any fresh produce, like in terms of fruits, vegetables, and stuff. Everything is processed, and I had to buy everything from the supermarket, and I couldn't get a good combination to make like an African meal that I would really enjoy. I need some oranges.
I brought the fish.
Very well.
I know you have a young toddler and you want to tend to them. So as you welcome me to where I'm going to be cooking, you can tend to your young toddler.
Thank you so much.
Let's go this way. You can show me. Now, I see umeniandalia kila kitu I need.
Yes, I got everything you wanted.
Okay.
The onions, the tomatoes, oranges, everything. All the ingredients you requested.
Now, I know you really love your fish. Is there a particular reason why you love your fish?
I come from Western. I come from Western.
So?
It's either chicken or fish.
Okay. The oils in the fish with the oils in the fresh fried oil complement each other. They're about to make a lot of magic.
Well, the kitchen is all yours. The transition between playing and motherhood is not easy, actually, because babies are demanding. You need to be there full time. You need to be there. And I remember when I went to play professional, I already had my first child. So I had to leave him behind. He had just turned 1 year, so I had to leave. But I had to make that tough decision to either stay or even go. But I had to go because I knew it was for our own good. So one, that was very, very tough. And then also coming back, okay, I have my third now, and balancing between playing and work has not been so easy, and it's really demanding, especially because I transited from playing to administration, and that takes a lot of my time as well. You need to be a full-time mother, you need to be there for your children, you need to have a good relationship with them, and at the same time, your work is demanding. You need to do a lot to get yourself going and get your work done. And that has not been easy at all because often I'm on the road, I'm traveling, I'm here, I'm there, and it's not easy. So you need to have a good support system. And I do have that, and I really, really appreciate that. So it makes things a lot easier for me. And so my kids know that, and they're used to that culture already.
We have our fish here that we got from City Market, and we're gonna go ahead to give it a little bit of a vibe and make sure to score it well in order for the spices to really get in there. So we're just gonna score it into a crisscross, and this will allow for us to have a very great finish. And it's very important to season your fish first because this way it allows for all of the flavor to get in there. And also it will stop you from adding more salt into your fish when you're serving it. Look at just the crisscross. All of these gaps will allow for all of the flavor to sip in and to really give us a great, really good char. And also it would allow for all of the fish to cook evenly as well. So it's super important to score your fish. And once you touch fish, you have to wash your hands. That's what I'm about to do. This is like a fish you can bake within 30 minutes or less. I want to make it the star of the show because the things that we're gonna pair it up with are brown ugali, which are a staple. We're also gonna add in some cabbage. Now, since we're making 2 fishes right here, we're gonna go ahead and add in our cumin and turmeric. We're also gonna be adding in our ginger and garlic paste. And definitely adding in some tomato paste. The tomato paste helps hold the fish into shape. And into your marinade, it's always very important to add in some salt and to squeeze in some lime or lemon. We're gonna make sure to mix our marinade together. We're looking for a paste kind of consistency. This paste will be able to rub on really, really well onto your fish. Do remember that you can either make your own spices by grounding them when you get whole spices, or you can just go to your favorite supermarket to grab your favorite spices in order to make a lot of magic happen. Now, once your paste has been created, you can go ahead and take your fish and make sure to take your paste and then just apply it on top. And you wanna make sure you apply it into the nooks and crannies that are here, which is the places that we scored the fish. And then also never miss out on the fish being marinated in the inside as well. Now, as you can see, the fish is like beautifully rubbed down with the spices. It just looks absolutely delish. And this is how it's actually going to end up once you grill it. Again, key major point, always wash your hands before you start on to the next step because food contamination is super serious and it's important to stay safe when you're cooking. The best time to grill is when the sun is out. It would be a disservice to not grill. My hands are absolutely clean and it's time to advance the fish onto the grill. However, I do want to say this. I have some fresh thyme here and I usually like to add a fresh herb onto my fish, mainly because it catches on really well and it also leaves a great fragrance as well. I'm gonna go with the original fresh fry, mainly because already the fish has its own oil, so as a result, you don't need to do much. You need the flavor of the fish. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this on here. I'm a professional, don't do this at home. Now I've ensured that one side is extremely hot, while the other side is not as hot, it's warm, so it's gonna be like a catalyst of keeping the food cooking really well. Now we're gonna take our fish and just place it on top. And then we're gonna take our herbs. And thyme is really, really good in terms of, like I said, flavor. And also, did you know that it's ancient to the Greeks? So we're placing that all over and we're placing it on the inside of the fish as well. So you just lift this up, make sure to place some in here. And you can place some on the top or on the bottom, whichever way you like. The goal here is to make sure that the fish is completely covered with the thyme in order to get the flavor really well. Now, another good thing about fish that you may not know, or rather white meat, it doesn't require a lot of cook time, especially if your grill is to the right temperature. And this grill and this cook is only gonna take about 35 minutes because my heat is actually quite high. I'm just gonna be moving around the fish to make sure it's right on point. Now that the fish is here, we're gonna let things happen as I wash my hands and as I get ready to sit down with Doreen and eat with her. Whitefish is very high in protein, very good with vitamin A and D, and also all of the oils are very, very good for your body. As you can see, the feast is ready.
Looks awesome.
Okay.
Looks yummy. Kate here is my host. She's my sister-in-law. She decided to host us all here today.
Just curious, for the fact that you're a footballer, I've never met a female footballer and actually known their diet. So, una special diet, it's never mattered to you.
Yes, there's a diet for athletes. One must follow. You just can't eat anything. And you need to watch your weight, you need to watch your diet, whatever you eat, so that you maintain your shape and your ability to to be able to compete at such a level.
What was your diet?
I avoided beef at all costs, but I did a lot of chicken, a lot of fish and rice, pasta, yeah. I was born and bred in Madare. Through football, I was determined to move away from that kind of lifestyle because growing up in such areas is not that easy. And as a girl child, you know, you're exposed to so many challenges. And coming out, football played a very big role for me to come out and be who I am today. FIFA invited you for a very important conference. What would you say was your biggest takeaway or the things that you learned? The course was actually meant to prepare me for leadership. Of course, I'm already in leadership, but kind of to shape my leadership abilities and to be able to take on leadership roles and positions, because they also want to create opportunities for African women and women in general across the world to take up leadership positions within their federations. And I'm privileged to have taken part in the course, and I can say that I'm already in the right path. I'm not yet there where I want to be, but you're working towards it consistently. Exactly. Yeah. I have transited from playing to administration. Yes. And my biggest goal and objective is to ensure that at least I create opportunities for other youngsters, because I believe in Kenya we do have potential. And football itself has always been perceived as a man's sport. But over time, some of us, like myself, I have proven as well that it's not a man's sport, and a girl can also excel in it. And having made it to professional football previously, it has inspired several other youngsters to want to reach the same levels. And so I aspire today to ensure that I create through FKF those opportunities for other youngsters to be recognized and be exposed out there. I think what drives me is the fact that I've been a player and I started at a very early age. I know the challenges, I know the benefits. It's a sport just like basketball, and the way basketballers make money or tennis players make money, the same way can happen for women football players. So what I would like to improve is to, in the near future, be in a position whereby we get to expose our players to play in competitive leagues locally, regionally, and also internationally. You've worked extremely hard to live the life that you want to live. So cheers to that. Okay. And if you're wondering what we're having, it is the lemon and ginger iced tea to a phenomenal woman who does a lot of amazing things. Cheers, 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 cheers. Thank you. Enjoy.